The Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near a big forest. Everyone calls her Little Red Riding Hood because she always wear a red cloak with a big red hood which her grandma made. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said, "Grandma is not feeling very well. Will you take this basket of food through the forest to her cottage?" "Yes, I sure would love to see Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood. She put on her red cloak and she pulled up her red hood and she took the basket of food into the forest. "Remember," her mother called after her, "don't talk to any strangers along the way." "I won't," Little Red Riding Hood promised. And she skipped down the path and into the woods. Along the way, she saw some beautiful wild flowers growing near the path. "I bet Grandma will really like these," she said to herself. And she stopped to get a few. "Hello, little girl," said a deep growling voice from behind her. She spun around and saw a big bad wolf standing in the shadows between two trees. "Hello," said Little Red Riding Hood.
"Where are you going on this fine day?"
asked the big bad wolf. "I'm going to my grandma's cottage on the other side of the forest. She isn't feeling very well, and I'm bringing her this basket of food and flowers," said Little Red Riding Hood.
"What a sweet girl you are,"
said the big bad wolf. He smiled and showed his mouth full of sharp teeth. "I had better be going," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Goodbye." The big bad wolf's stomach grumbled and growled with hunger. Suddenly he had an idea. As quick as he could, he ran through the forest all the way to Grandma's cottage. He knocked on the door. When Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother answered the door, the wolf rushed into the house. He tied Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother up and locked her in the cupboard. After a while, Little Red Riding Hood reached her grandmother's house. She found the door open and went in. "Grandma, are you home?" The wolf had dressed in Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother's clothes. He was wearing her glasses too, and he had tucked himself in her bed. Little Red Riding Hood thought the wolf was her grandmother. "Hi, Grandma! It's me, Little Red Riding Hood." But when she drew closer, she noticed something very strange. "Grandma, your ears look bigger." The wolf was very hungry, so he tricked her into coming closer.
"My ears are bigger so I can hear you better. Come closer, my dear."
Little Red Riding Hood then noticed that her grandmother's eyes looked bigger too. "Why do your eyes look so big?"
"So I can see you better. Come closer, my dear."
Little Red Riding Hood then saw that her grandmother's teeth looked bigger too. "Grandmother, why do your teeth look so much bigger?"
"My teeth are bigger so I can eat you up."
The wolf jumped up and snapped his sharp teeth at Little Red Riding Hood. But she was a smart little girl. She screamed for help. "Help! Help! Help! Can somebody please help me?" A woodcutter who was chopping wood nearby heard Little Red Riding Hood. The woodcutter rushed into the house and taught the big bad wolf a lesson. "Take this, you big bad wolf!" The woodcutter and Little Red Riding Hood rescued grandmother in the cupboard. "Little Red Riding Hood, you are safe. Thank goodness." Little Red Riding Hood was thankful that the woodcutter saved her that day. She had learned her lesson. From then on, when she went out on her own, she always listened to her mother and never wandered off or talked to strangers again. The